What is up, guys? I am Samuel and welcome back to Louisiana. So today, guys, we are going to be reviewing the very watch that I wear every single day, and I've worn it for almost 6 months, or I have worn it for 6 months, but I wear it for almost every single day, every week, every month, the CASIO G-SHOCK model 3232. We're going to be reviewing this thing, looking at it, examining it, saying all the problems with it, everything I don't like about it, all the damage it has sustained, all the damage it hasn't sustained, but probably would have broken other watches, the good parts about it, the bad parts about it, and we're going to be reviewing this watch. I'm going to tell you guys why I like it so much, and that's going to be the video. Let's get into it. So we are going to be reviewing the CASIO G-SHOCK model 3232. So when you first unbox your watch, you will get this little instruction booklet, and if you look at it, it says that it is for models number 3230 and numbers 3232. Well, you're not really sure which one you have, so you open it up and you see 3230 has 3 dials on top and 3232 has 1 dial and then a bar. You look at your watch, and since we have 3232, we have the dial and the bar. So we know we have the 3232, and you can flip it here if you want, and it tells you how to set the watch up, how to set the time, the date, and all that stuff. Well, once you get that set up, let's get into all the fun stuff it does. So let's go over the buttons first. You have the adjust button, and this button lets you adjust your time here, and I already have my watch set up, so we're not going to do that. If I press it, you can see the time start blinking. It starts with seconds, but we don't need to adjust it because we already have the right time. Then you can go down to mode, and mode lets you change if you want just the time, like you regular watch, an alarm, you see alarm up there, or a stopwatch. It gives you 2 stopwatches. But then if you go back to mode, where you just have the time, to the mode where you just have the time, you hit adjust, and you can select mode, and it gives you either military time. Sorry, you hit adjust, and you hit the button at the button at the bottom. Gives you either standard time or military time. So we're going to be doing this in military time. This is the way I tell time. And then you hit adjust again, and that's where you are. So then, of course, you have the alarm. You can set your alarm. You have the stopwatch, the countdown stopwatch, and then back to the time. So you have the start-stop button, and you have the split or reset button. So start-stop is for starting or stopping the timer, and the split reset button either splits your time in half or totally resets the timer. It depends on which mode you have selected before. That's pretty much all the buttons except for this button with a G for G-SHOCK on it. And like I said earlier, if you hit adjust and hit this button, it will change from military time to standard time. But if you just hit this button with nothing else selected, the face lights up. And on the G-SHOCK, you cannot change what color it lights up as. On this one, it's green, greenish blue. It's pretty neat, and it works really well at night, which I give them a big plus for, because some watches, even though they light up, this doesn't really help at night for some reason. All right, so let's go on to the problems I have with the watch after owning it for 6 months and wearing it almost every single day. So first thing is all the little cracks and crevices and holes where dirt and dust get into. You can see these little holes that have screws in them. Dust loves to get in there. And then you have these crevices on the bottom of the band. Sweat collects there. And then you have the crevices on top of the band right here and right here. And dust and dirt gets in there. This doesn't really give you much trouble. But on the inside where you have the 2 holes, sweat builds up in here. And sometimes it's just flaking off salt. These don't really cause any problem. What I like is when it's sitting on your wrist, these 2 little rubber bumpers keep this face off your wrist. So air's coming through there, and it's really comfortable, unlike some other watches where it's just sitting on your wrist and you're sweating and you don't like it. So I like that. And actually, I kind of do appreciate these little grooves, because I know if I didn't have them, it would just be right on my wrist and I'd start sweating, and I wouldn't like that. So it's kind of unavoidable there. You also have these little grooves in between the button dials where dirt builds up, and on the inside it kind of does, and that's not much of a problem, because if you use the buttons a lot, then it kind of goes away. But that's just what happens. So then that's about all I have against it. I mean, the watch is really well made, and you have these little grooves on the bottom side of the band, and that lets air go through. So it's really designed for user comfort. The only other thing I don't like, and this is not even a problem really, but it kind of, it's not my favorite thing about the watch. If you look at the band, so you see how you attach it, it has a little thing in there. Well, it pulls out just a little bit, and you get that gap on the sides of it. It's not bad, it doesn't bother anything. It's just, to me, it looks weak. It doesn't quite fit the theme of the watch to have that little gap there. It looks like it could pull off, which it can't. You know, you can pull it really hard and it won't come off. I mean, it's nailed in with a steel pin, but it just looks kind of weak. I think they could have covered that up and it would have looked better. One thing I do like is there's an obvious distinction between the band and the face. On some digital watches, they try to blend it together, and to me, that just does not work. It just does not look good, but I like on G-SHOCK, they keep the distinction between the face of the watch and the band, instead of trying to streamline it, you know, and make it look like it's all one thing. That's about all I have a problem with. And even down here, if you look at this, it's not really scratched. I mean, some watch class will scratch very, very bad, and it's annoying, but the G-SHOCK doesn't. The face has held on really well. There's no damage or scratches to the watch face, and I have a bad history of breaking these. I have busted out the faces of 2 watches, and I've never damaged this, but it does have this little bezel around there, which is really helpful for that. The only other thing that I have done, the only thing I've done to this watch that caused any damage is there's a scratch in this face where I brushed against some concrete, and the concrete just nicked that, and it just barely scratched that little button there, but that's the only damage I've been able to do to this watch after 6 months of owning it. And I just have to admit that this G-SHOCK is very well built, and it's user-friendly, very comfortable, and it's very tough, which is what it lives up to. And if you look at the back, you can read it, and it of course has the G, and it says shock resist, which I'm kind of glad it does, because that's the point of the watch. Then it gives you the stats about it. You know, it says water resistant to 20 bar, which if I'm correct is around 120 feet. And it says the stainless steel back, made in China. I don't really know why they had to put that, but they did. And that's all it says back there. It gives you your model number and everything else. But that's about everything there is about the CASIO G-SHOCK. Have to admit, it's a really nice watch, and they got everything right, and it comes in a lot of different colors. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe, and share this video with your grandmother. So you saw why I like the CASIO G-SHOCK. It's shock resistant, you can't break it, vibrations don't damage it, it's waterproof to 120 feet, and I think it's a really good watch. It's shock resistant. Like I said, it's a really good watch, and I wear it every single day, and I actually cannot stress enough just how much this watch has, how much abuse it has taken with me wearing it. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one.